Queen Mary and King Frederik of Denmark, the best moments of their grand voyage aboard the Dannebrog. The Danish royal yacht Dannebrog has borne witness to many grand voyages and historic moments over the decades, but few can rival the enchantment and splendor of King Frederik and Queen Mary's recent cruise along the Scandinavian coastline. As the stately ship glided across the serene Nordic waters, the world-weary cares of the monarchy seemed to melt away, revealing a captivating glimpse into the private life and tender relationship of Denmark's regal power couple. It was a rare opportunity for the public to catch an unguarded glimpse of the king and queen, away from the relentless glare of the spotlight and the stifling formality of palace life. And by all accounts, the royal duo seized it with unbridled enthusiasm, reveling in the freedom and intimacy of their time aboard the Dannebrog. From the moment the king and queen boarded the magnificent vessel, a palpable sense of giddiness and youthful exuberance filled the air. Gone were the stern, stoic expressions that so often characterized their public appearances. In their place, broad smiles, playful banter, and an unmistakable spark of joy. As the Dannebrog cut gracefully through the choppy waves, Queen Mary could be seen leaning against the railings, her eyes alight with wonder as she drank in the breathtaking vistas of the fjords and archipelagos. Nearby, King Frederik stood at the helm, his kingly bearing momentarily softened by a look of pure contentment as he guided the ship through the serene waterways. In the evenings, the royal couple could be found strolling the Dannebrog's teak decks, arms linked, deep in conversation. Occasionally, they would pause to gaze up at the starry night sky, their faces illuminated by the gentle glow of the ship's lanterns. Onlookers caught rare glimpses of tender embraces and stolen kisses, a far cry from the carefully choreographed public displays that had become the norm. But it was the moments of pure, unabashed playfulness that truly captivated those fortunate enough to witness them. On one particularly memorable day, the king and queen were spotted racing each other along the deck, their laughter echoing across the water as they reveled in the simple joys of their time together. At another point, the queen was seen attempting to teach the king a traditional Danish folk dance, their stumbling steps and infectious giggles a delightful contrast to their usual regal bearing. Even during the more formal aspects of the voyage, the king and queen's affection for one another was palpable. During a gala dinner held aboard the Dannebrog, the pair could be observed gazing into each other's eyes, their hands clasped tightly as they conversed in hushed tones, seemingly oblivious to the other guests. As the cruise drew to a close, the sense of reluctance and melancholy was palpable. The king and queen seemed almost loath to disembark, savoring every last moment of their precious time alone together. When the Dannebrog finally docked, the couple lingered on the decks, drinking in the sights and sounds one last time before reluctantly returning to the constraints of their royal duties. In the days and weeks that followed, the Danish public was abuzz with accounts of the king and queen's enchanting voyage. Stories of their playful antics and tender moments quickly became the stuff of legend, reminding the nation that beneath the layers of protocol and privilege, their monarchs were still human, still capable of the same joys and vulnerabilities as any other couple. For those lucky enough to catch a glimpse of the royal duo during their time on the Dannebrog, the experience was nothing short of spellbinding. In those fleeting moments, the weight of the crown seemed to lift, and the king and queen were transformed into something more akin to a pair of love-struck newlyweds than the stately figures who so often graced the public stage. As the Dannebrog sails on, carrying the promise of future voyages and untold stories, the memory of King Frederik and Queen Mary's enchanting cruise will undoubtedly linger in the hearts and minds of the Danish people. It was a rare and precious glimpse into the private world of the monarchy, a reminder that even the most regal of unions can be touched by the simple, enduring magic of love.